Dip powder or gel polish? What should you use? What should you offer in the salon? What's your preference? We're going to talk about the exact direction you should go right now on the Biz Talk. I've asked this before on a previous episode when we did acrylic or gel, but it's Habib or Greg.
Hold on, chapstick.
Oh my God. She's literally putting chapstick on and
Felt good.
right after a very important question, Habib or Greg. Tracey.
Stalling. Gucci?
Gucci, we have a guest. Gucci is Stephanie's dog, and she's hanging with us today. So if she's in the shot, too bad. She deserves to be in the shot, and she will stay in the shot.
About her.
If you're listening on the podcast, know there's this beautiful dog hanging out with us, and go to YouTube to check her out. Now that we got that out of the way, we're talking about dip powder versus gel polish.
What is that we talking about?
I know.
What was that?
I don't know. Suddenly I got an accent.
We're talking about it.
So there obviously dip powder has been a massive service around the world. It's exploded over the last 3 or 4 years. And it's kind of substituted, or I don't know the right word. I mean, maybe not completely, but it represents a similar service as gel polish, right? Over the natural nails, color. And when you look at it, if you look at a really, really nice dip powder service, it looks like gel polish.
Yeah.
So, what is the preference? Like for anybody that is currently doing gel polish or dip, or thinking about, introducing the other one, should they not? Like, what's kind of the direction? Wait, before you answer that, let me ask you this. I know I'm talking like crazy. That's what I do.
Shocking.
What is your preference, Tracey? Dip powder or gel polish for that service?
Both.
Really?
Yes.
You don't have, okay, if you had to choose one. And I asked this question to Greg when we did acrylic versus gel. If I said, if you had to choose one and he chose, I'm asking the same question. If you had to choose one, what would it be?
I wouldn't choose.
No.
No.
We're not playing this game.
No, listen. This is why. Because I'm going to offer to my client what they need to put on their nails. So it's not about my preference. It's about what they need to wear.
Okay, but dip powder didn't exist 10 years ago.
Back in the day.
So, just play this game with me, please. God, it's being difficult. Daily occurrence. What would you pick if you had to pick one? Would you pick dip powder as the over natural nail service, or would you pick gel polish? If you had to pick one.
Gel polish.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
But, just kidding.
So, the real answer is you should have both.
I'm a strong believer, whether it's acrylic and gel or dip powder and
you should offer
gel
both.
polish. It really is the client's nails that tell me what I need. Unless I work in an atmosphere that I can't offer a service. I like to have everything. That way I can give them what they need.
Well, and ultimately, too, I think it's important that you have what the demand is, too, right? So, if you offer gel polish, and if you have somebody that walks in the door and says, I've been hearing about this dip powder, my mom has it, my sister has it, I want it, can you give it to me? And if you're like, no, I don't do that, you might lose some clients, right? There's that possibility.
And here's the thing. Gel polish and dip powder are two extremely easy services to offer.
Right.
So, especially if you're first starting out, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Offer it because it's easy. And again, you're not turning anyone away when they hit your door. So that's
right.
Perfect.
So what is the situation where you said the client dictates the service? Yeah. So walk me through those situations. Somebody comes in and you're like, oh, this is definitely gel polish, or somebody comes in, this is definitely dip powder. What are those situations that dictate what they get?
So if a client walks in and they got really nice, fairly strong nails, gel polish is a no-brainer. It's going to work great on them. Whereas you get someone with weak nails, brittle nails, flimsy nails, like they're really bendy, flexible. My mom's nails are like that. They're strong, but they give.
Okay.
So I would put dip powder on them because it's going to be a harder structure and it's just going to have a better bond to that nail.
Okay, and then a second part to that question is, if you're going to put dip powder, do you do it with gel or do you do it the traditional with glue for all intents and purposes?
It's a lot of questions today.
Yeah, I know. I got a lot more.
A lot of decisions. I like doing it with the conversion gel.
With gel.
I do. And I think you're kind of marrying both worlds at that point. So you got acrylic, you got gel, had a little baby. You got
Stop it.
You got slick pour with a conversion gel. Little baby.
It's getting weird up in here.
And then you have the strength of the dip and you have the flexibility of the gel. But it's giving them that strength that maybe they couldn't get out of just a straight gel polish.
Okay, so then for somebody that doesn't do dip, okay, you do gel polish. I think most salons offer gel polish service, right?
Yeah,
in the world, right?
Common.
So if you're going to then now, let's say you're listening to this episode, you're like, okay, I'm going to offer both. You're going to get in a dip. Should they start on the path? Would you tell them don't even bother with the resin, with the glue? Or like, is there a situation where somebody might need the resin? Or should you have that service available for somebody that doesn't want to use a light? They don't want to put their hand on a light.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to have it around. It's not going to hurt and it's not harder or easier. So it doesn't matter. For me personally, I can't really be around resins that much.
Yeah.
The glues have gotten to me over the years. My past, I used to do a lot of silk back in the day when I first got out of school. And so the minute I opened that, I probably would have it around just in case.
Just in case.
I would pray that no one would want it. But why not? Why? It's easy.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
So someone comes in, no, I'm not putting my hands in that light. You can explain it a half a gajillion times to them about the lights.
Do it.
No problem. I can still take your money.
Yeah. I think like it always comes back to options, right? Like, but there's that fine line and balance of I don't want my clients to dictate my business, right? Like where you're going to honor every request that comes to the door. Well, I want dip. Well, I want gel polish. Right. It's not possible, right? And this is where educating your customer comes in, and also why it's so important to build a full clientele. Because when you have a full clientele, you've pretty much managed to kind of like, you're keeping these clients. They understand your way. You are the chosen ones. It's true, right? Yeah. And like, this is how I do nails. And so you might have a couple people in that mix that you really like, you've got a great relationship with, which is really important in any business. Maybe they can't wear gel for whatever reason, and they need the resin, right, of dip powder.
Yep.
But they're just like an amazing client. You want to be able to have that instead of maybe you have this problem client that's late all the time, that gives you issues, but fits into the fact that, okay, all you do is like gel dip, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like a puzzle,
right?
So to speak, right?
Yeah, I think I've always talked about tools. It's having the right tool for that moment. You can't go chop a tree down with a table saw.
I could. Actually, but let's get to the point.
Pay money to see that because I'm pretty sure no arms would come back.
No, I'm buff. Haven't you seen me lately? Look, that's me flexing. By the way,
anyway, what I was saying was, so why not offer it? If the jeez.
Sorry,
I'm gonna have nightmares about that. By the way,
no, I realized I said the word buff, and probably most people watching this are like, "What is?" That's like a total like '90s, '80s term.
SoCal
buff.
I'm just buff, man.
Okay,
so
continue.
If a product is not hard to do, and you don't have a problem. I mean, I like the look of it.
Yeah,
I do like the look of it. Why not offer it?
Yeah.
Like you said, and if a client needs it. Now, once you have a clientele, yes, you get to weed out certain services, but it never hurts to have something laying around that you may need. Like you said, if a client becomes allergic to something, you have that option. Resin isn't to me, isn't easier to do than it with gel.
You know what I love about the level of sort of expertise that like you bring and Greg brings and Steph brings, that you guys bring to the table, and what I think all nail professionals should strive for is that there isn't anything in nails, like a particular service that you guys can't do.
Right.
All of you can do everything. And here's the thing. If a new thing comes, right, even if it's a trend,
right,
it's like, I'm going to try that. I can do that because you have the fundamentals, right? And those fundamentals you can apply to almost everything. So to your point, why wouldn't you offer everything? So I think it's like there's a level of confidence you get to, right, in your career where you're like, throw me anything. You know what I'm saying? It's again, I try to use my own experience in comparing because I'm not a nail professional, right? But like, for example, with social media marketing, give me a platform, right? Because I was just talking to my kids. It's so funny. They're like, Dad, how many YouTube videos you guys have? I'm like, we've got over 800. And I said that number. 800? It's over 800 YouTube videos. And I was like, oh my God. And even my wife, Mavette, she was like, that's insane. And I'm like, yeah, I think we've done 500 of them in the last 3 years, 500 videos in 3 years. And then taking them and then applying them to all the platforms, right? There isn't a platform where I would feel intimidated by.
Right.
Because I have the foundation fundamentals of social media marketing and communication. And I understand it's a matter of just playing with it a little bit.
Yes.
Getting familiar, like TikTok, for example, right?
Yeah.
Got familiar, played with it. Now, we're almost at 1 million subscribers in a very short amount of time, right? We caught it early when it's hot. But the same thing with nail services. Like you get to a point in your professional career where you're going to be like I can do that and I should do it. And I should offer it because if I come across a client that I really like and is a good person, I want to bring them into my books.
Right.
I want to be able to handle that.
That doesn't mean that you have to have it on your shelf just sitting there waiting for someone. Just know that that's an option. Though, if you are starting out, get it on your shelf. Put it on your shelf.
Right.
People are asking for it. So provide it. It's gel polish, dip powder. Give them what they want. Give them what they need.
Give them what they need. I think that's the bigger point. It's something you always talk about. It's not, it's all about what they need. And that drives the service ultimately, their needs, and you being able to execute it is why you should get familiar with all these types of services, correct?
Yeah, I agree.
So to summarize, look, level of difficulty, acrylic versus, my God, I'm going backwards. Gel polish versus dip powder, probably, would you say which one is harder? Which one requires maybe a little bit more technique? And I'm talking...
He's so not getting the direct answers from me today. It just depends what you struggle at. Because sometimes, for me, nail polish is a struggle. Like
nail polish is actually hard.
And gel polish is very similar. It's like getting it right in there. What's great about gel polish is you get
just
to
clean it right up. Doesn't
dry. Dip, I don't struggle with that back end as much for some reason. So I don't know. I think
me as a beginner,
what would you pick?
I would say dip is maybe requires a little bit more.
It's probably
technique.
because of the resin and
how
resin. It sets up.
If it's gel, then they're very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch the dip powder go in the gel and dissolve. That's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're kind of the same. And then on being able to offer the services, this is the big thing. You should have both. You should know how to do both because the level of difficulty is not like through the ceiling. Learn both. Be able to offer. That way you have like your net, you cast a wider net when you're building your clientele. You can pick and choose the clients that you want.
Get all the clients.
Get all the clients. Exactly. So let us know what you think. Do you prefer dip powder? Do you prefer gel polish? Let us know in the comments below. What's your take on it? Tracey, thank you very much for not answering any of my direct questions today.
My pleasure.
And we will see you next week on the Biz Talk.